from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
Washington outside left. Roethlisberger has time. Throws to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Holmes.
Minute remaining, and they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Taproom Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan. Stacks on stacks on stacks, lads. Joined with my man, Mr. Big Ballin' Ben Larson.
Sir, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
I can't complain.
That's
Nice first weekend in a while. It hasn't been crazy busy, so got to enjoy some Fieldworks Friday night. Got to sit back and relax Saturday, watch some sports. Yesterday, Today was just another busy day, but living life, loving it.
Wasn't busy for you, but for us betting college football, Ben, we had to sweat some shit out on Saturday. Open with
life easy.
Open with Nebraska and Northwestern. And before I say that, I gotta plug this real quick. Irvin and I will be on tomorrow night. We'll be recapping week 0. We'll be beginning a look ahead to week 1 college football. We will also be having a special guest on tomorrow, Femi Abefafe from VSiN, which is the largest sports gambling media conglomerate in America. My guy is going to be on tomorrow. We're going to be talking some NFL futures as well as maybe some college football futures. But you're definitely going to want to tap in. We will be on 9:15 live tomorrow with Femi. Don't miss it.
Yeah.
So I'm very much looking forward to that. But, Ben, college football was, I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and I thought I was the most prepped I've ever been. And, my number one bet of the offseason was New Mexico State plus 12. I loved it because Nevada lost basically their entire team and their coaching staff. And they lose their all-conference quarterback, Carson Strong, lose Romeo Dobbs. They lose everything. Dude, this game, I don't know if you watched it, but this game was goofy, dude. Very goofy. New Mexico State did cover the 12. I will say that. So I win, I'm cool with that. But they honestly should have won the actual fucking game.
Okay.
Like, it was just so much. Dude, they had 5 interceptions, Ben. They turned it over 5 times.
Damn.
And they only lost by 11 points. But they had an interception. It was like 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in the game. Nevada had the ball. They were like in field goal range, basically, right?
Yeah.
The guy goes to throw it. Cox goes to throw it. New Mexico State picks it off. Like, clear interception. They call it incomplete pass on the field. And they go to replay. And, like, everybody, even the announcers are like, well, that's an interception. Like,
yeah,
that's a definite interception. But they don't replay it. Like, they don't actually replay it on the field. They just continue with play. So an 8-point lead goes to 11. I mean, they had an opportunity, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
it was a wild weekend of college football week 0. Nebraska, big expectations this year. Scott Frost's 4th year. The Husker Nation expecting this guy to turn it around this year. This is the year. They fucking lose to Northwestern, a team they beat fucking 56-7 last year.
Yikes.
I mean, dude, it doesn't start off worse than that if you're Scott Frost. So,
yep.
Awesome weekend of college football. I gathered a lot of intel, which I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. I took a lot of notes. I watched a lot of fucking games, dude. So if y'all didn't have the time, your boy did it for you. I got notes. I got everything. We'll be talking about it tomorrow, so definitely tap in with that. But, Ben, regardless, awesome fucking weekend of sports. Major League Baseball continues to not disappoint. I had a big wager on the fucking Twins last night.
Yep.
Fucking rain delay. Down 2-0. They managed to win the fucking game, dude. Yep. I was like, no way, bro. This can't be happening. But, I mean, something actually went my way for once, dude. So I will not be upset with it. But
there we go.
What a crazy game that was. I mean, just an awesome week and weekend of baseball. Ben, I'm really looking forward to talking about it. Excited to be here. I was really fired up on Tuesday. I was fired up on Wednesday, and I'm fired up today.
Let's go, y'all.
There we go. Well, before we get into sports, we're going to be talking some beer. I've got 2 great beers today that I'm really excited about. So we'll get to those in just a second. But to let everybody know, the big part of this podcast is going to be kind of sports and beer, because what goes hand in hand with the other sports, beer, sports. So we're going to be talking about a couple different beers per episode, and more so specifically on our Sunday episodes. But we're going to be talking about these beers, what we're bringing to the table, hoping that you see these beers out there, like these beers, and try these beers at some point. Hopefully they are a local beer for you, or you can get them locally. Maybe not. A place that you can find these beers is going to be on Tavour. So go to Tavour.com, download the Tavour app.
Nice plug.
Use promo code Taproom. Get $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. One of my beers is going to be a beer. Well, actually, both beers. I've seen one of them on Tavour. Both, I believe, Jackrabbit, one of the brewing companies that I have, their beers show up on Tavour as well. Not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure I have seen them on there. So definitely give these beers a try, give Tavour a try. But we want to bring this out to you, get you trying different beers, really just go into your breweries, drinking a beer, talking sports with a buddy, with a random person. Sports and beer bring people together. So we wanted to pass that on to you. So we're going to be reviewing these beers at the end of the podcast. We'll give them a rating out of 5. So Jordan, what's that first beer going to be?
My first beer tonight is going to be a Fat Orange Cat, which we both had beers from several times. This is one brewing company that you can find on Tavour. They're on Tavour actually pretty quite frequently. This is the Geriatric Kittens, the Miami Beach IPA.
There we go.
Is it just a regular IPA? It is it's just a regular IPA. So it features a blend of classic hops and a new school tropical hops. So obviously a lot of brewing companies now are like, it's kind of like the weed game, you know what I mean? Where they're like, they're doing like what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for, Ben? When you like cross different
breed.
What's the word, dude? When you grow it though. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We just can't think of the word, dude.
Cross strains.
Strain, like cross. Yeah. I don't know the actual word, but like they're doing that shit with hops now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I've been seeing a lot more of these like quote unquote tropical hops lately. This is one of those beers. I mean, the aroma, the smell right away. I mean, you definitely get like a tropical feel, like pineapple. I don't even know what else. I get pineapple, but looking forward to it because Fat Orange Cat, man, they never disappoint, dude. They always have good beer there.
Yep, absolutely.
What are you sipping on?
Yeah, so for my first one of the night is going to be a Jackrabbit Brewing Company. This is out of West Sacramento, and this is called Hank the Tank, and it's the terror of Tahoe. And there is a story behind Hank. Hank is a pretty famous bear that is in South Lake Tahoe who likes to break into homes and basically ransack the homes, go in, take all the all the food out of the homes when the people are gone, and you come home and you find your home trashed. And so Hank is the terror of Tahoe. And something that I really like about this beer, and kind of doing my research on this, is that they use the Simcoe and Chinook hops, which are both 2 earthy hops, which really kind of represent that Tahoe area, coming out of Northern California there. So you're going to get the Chinook hops, which are going to be, earthy with that kind of smokiness flavor to it. You're also going to get the Simcoe hops, which are going to be that earthy with kind of that fruity flavor there. So I think that's a great way of, really representing Tahoe in a beer, is with these 2 different hops and this hop blend. So I'm excited about it. It's a West Coast IPA coming in at 7.2%, little high on the alcohol percentage there for a West Coast IPA.
So we're both going heavy.
Yeah, if they can handle this and really kind of bring down that 7.2, so it's not too alcohol forward, I think they'll be able to do a good job on this.
Yeah. Nice. So we're both going with over 7% IPA. So this should be a fun first segment here.
Here we go. My second one's a little bit lower, but
mine is not. Mine actually goes up. So
okay.
That'll be fun. I also have a Mountain Dew with alcohol.
I'm still looking for those. So
that we're trying to find for Ben so we can do it on a show. But I do have a special thing that I'm gonna do on one of our shows this week regarding college football on Saturday. So, like Irvin said last week, if Hawaii doesn't cover plus 8.5, he was gonna drink 4 shots of Hennessy straight.
Holy Jesus!
He's gonna be doing that this week on Wednesday.
Jeez.
Tap
4
in
shots straight.
I mean, he owes me, dude. He promised me they were gonna cover that 8.5.
Yikes!
They got
the end of the show.
Nah, I think maybe we should do it in the beginning to see
how much of a shit show that turns into.
Nah, it can't be any worse than the night we did the show and the Bucks won the title.
That's true. Or our NFL draft party. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Well, I mean, that one was designed to be to be like that. But yeah, man, definitely looking forward to this week, man. We got a lot of content on deck, and you definitely want to make sure to go to taproomsportspodcast.com. You can find all our socials there, Instagram, Twitter, everything. Follow us. We'll be putting out a lot of good content, especially heading into football season. Like I said, we got Femi tomorrow. We got a lot of special stuff on deck, man. So we appreciate y'all. Make sure to tap in, tell your friends. We got some. We'll have some contests for sure. Ben.
Yep.
We're making an executive decision right here. We're gonna have some contests for sure this year. So tap in with us. Tell your friends. We appreciate y'all for real. But let's hop into the sports, man. Let's hop into it. So we got some NFL to talk about, Ben. So we had a couple stories kind of break. We actually talked about it last Sunday. We were like, where in the world is Tom Brady right now? Because he was supposed to come back last Saturday, didn't end up coming back until Monday, but literally Monday morning is when he came back.
Yeah.
But he had an interesting press conference this week, dude. And we have it. I'm going to play it right now, and then we're going to react to it. Hold on one.
It's all personal, everyone's got different situations they're dealing with, so we all have really unique challenges to our life, and, I'm 45 years old, man. There's a lot of shit going on, so, you just gotta try to figure out life the best you can, and, it's a continuous process, so.
All right, so
did Michael Jackson come back?
I mean, there's been some crazy rumors flying around about why he was gone. I mean, none of them obviously have any merit to it, but the most interesting one I did hear was that he missed time to get a facelift. Which, I mean, if you watch the video, it was right there. I mean, his face is really tight for a 45-year-old. You know what I mean? Which is usually signs of a facelift, but that's here nor there. I'm not here to speculate or drive drama or nothing, but I mean, he said enough. I'm 45 years old. There's a lot of shit going on. Yeah. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Ben? Before I sound,
I mean, it's interesting to see too, because this was a planned vacation for him. That the team was at least informed about weeks ahead, months ahead, that he was going to be missing these days. So, it could be something that it could be, medically related, where he was getting a procedure done. It could be something that his family had one last trip, planned before the kids went back to school. And that was when Giselle was also available, without her issues. And let's be honest, preseason.
Hold on, Ben. What issue? What issues?
I don't know. Without scheduling issues. There we
go. Okay.
That's where I was going with that. But it's. I mean, it could be anything like that. I mean, we've got other, rumors that it was because he's going to be a part of the Masked Singer. So, I mean, you never really know what's going on there. But because it was something that was planned, I don't think you have too much to worry about if you're a Bucks fan.
Well, I think you
got some other reasons to worry if you're a Bucks fan.
Yeah. I mean, Father Time's undefeated except for him. He's the only dude.
That offensive line is not great.
I mean, the interesting thing to me, Ben, is that he said 45 years old. There's a lot of shit going on. Well, welcome to being a fucking adult, dude.
Yeah.
And B, it's like, dude, if it's that big of an issue, then why not just retire? Like, if you have so much going on, you know what I mean? Like, why can you not commit yourself to your teammates and shit?
I mean, it's preseason. You know that you.
It is,
you
and
don't
he is
have to be
Tom
there
Brady.
for the first 2 weeks. Yeah, he comes back and has a good,
but
drive
still,
down the
he
field
always
this
said if he
weekend.
couldn't commit himself to the game, that was when he was gonna retire.
Yeah.
And
So, I mean, I
he
think that's
retired
something-
in January, and then he comes back like miraculously. It's like, what is actually like? There's just so much. It was Bruce Arians fucking resigns, right? And then now it's like Todd Bowles is the head coach. Basically, Tom Brady's probably the offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? Even though Byron Leftwich is there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like, I don't know, dude. Like, if I'm a Bucks fan, like, I'm definitely not heading into this season with any sort of confidence, dude. Like, I'm down on the Bucks more than I am up on the Bucks, because even though they play in a shitty division, Ben, they still play in the same division as the Saints.
Yeah. We don't know what the Saints are going to be like. So
we know their defense is going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Offense is a huge question mark, but really, the offense is a huge question mark with Tampa Bay now too, because one, Brady is getting a year older. We saw how when Brady got pressured and when Brady took hits, the negative plays that he really had last year and really the year before.
Yep.
So once with a struggling offensive line, with the loss of Gronk, did they lose another one of their wide receivers?
Not well. They lost OJ Howard, but he didn't really play that much.
Yeah. So there's with a big question mark in your running back situation, like that offense is kind of what's going on there. I don't necessarily trust Fournette there. So
I mean, the thing is their offensive line is definitely not going to be the same for sure.
No,
I mean, that's going to be a big weakness, and that was kind of like what drove him to Tampa, was like they already had a good offensive line, and then they got Tristan Wirfs, who's like one of the better offensive linemen in the league now. I don't know, man. I'm high on the Saints, and I'm getting higher on the Saints, because you got to remember, when the Saints had Jameis Winston last year, they were hella good.
Yeah.
It was when they went to fucking Taysom Hill, that shit kind of went downhill. So I mean, they're gonna have Jameis. They get Chris Olave, they get Mike Slant Thomas back. That offense is gonna be better. That defense is really good.
Yeah.
So I'm higher on the Saints, man, and I honestly, Ben, like, at what is it, plus 350 for them to win the division?
Yeah.
That's not a bad bet.
It's not a bad feature at all. Not at all. I mean, you still have to go through Tom Brady.
But they like dominate. They're like 4-1 against him since he's at Tampa. The only team Tom Brady doesn't have a winning record against is the Saints. And it's not like that defense got worse. And Dennis Allen is still there, the mastermind behind that defense.
Yeah.
It's to be determined how he's going to be as a head coach, but I mean,
yeah, and with the way that Atlanta's coming through, with the way that Carolina's coming through,
I mean, those
aren't going to be anything.
Atlanta is going to be 2 free wins, dude.
Yeah.
That team winning like 3 games maximum, dude.
Yeah.
Team fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Watch them win like 8.
I don't. It's going to be a 50-50 crapshoot for me with the Saints and Tampa Bay there. I think with that plus 350, you got to take the Saints.
Yeah, I think it's like a must bet, because like Tampa's like minus 120 to win the division. There's just no value.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about one more story. I was like kind of iffy on whether we should talk about it or not, just because it doesn't really have any like gambling implications, I guess, unless you think punting is like huge. But the punt god Matt Araiza, the story surfaces this week that he allegedly gang raped some girl with 2 other San Diego State players a year ago, right? Is it a year ago?
Yeah, last year. She was 17, he was 21.
Yeah, and
so that's statutory.
Yeah, regardless of whether it's rape or whatever, he definitely is on the phone recorded. She asked him, like, did we have sex? He says, yes, go get tested for STD. So, I mean, he basically admitted to statutory rape, if anything.
Yeah. Yeah, she's in and out of consciousness.
Well, I don't want to get too much into those kind of details because there's a lot to be sorted out there, like through the legal system.
She said, yeah.
But what we do know is that he was recorded on the phone saying, like, yes, we did have sex. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that much is true.
Well, and he was providing and has witnesses saying that he provided her with alcohol.
Yeah.
And she's 17.
Yeah, just overall a bad situation, Ben.
Yeah.
Not good. He's probably going to jail, prison.
Oh, absolutely. But I think that plays a big issue with the Bills, too, because they got rid of Matt Hack, their previous punter from last year, because...
Nah, they'll get a punter. Dude, it's a punter, bro.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, Matt Ariza, like, you know, being able to change field position the way he did, like he could punt 80 yards, like that is pretty big, but it's like, at the end of the day, it's a punter, dude. Yeah. So I'm saying, like, if he truly... Because I have to believe that the Bills knew about the situation per se before it came out, right? And they didn't cut him until like 5 days after. And the only reason why they cut him was because he was a punter. You know what I mean? If he was if he was Josh Allen, they wouldn't have cut him.
Yeah. You wonder if they know about that situation or not.
They had to have known something. I mean, there was a report that the girl's attorney emailed the Buffalo Bills organization a week ago. I mean, they had to have known something. The one thing I will say, and like, you know, I've been pretty consistent with this for a long time. You know, me and you both have on the show, is that the NFL they continuously downplay the rights of women, I guess, sort of say, like, you know what I mean? Like, you beat a woman, it's like, okay, unless, like, if Ray Rice didn't get caught on video punching his girl, he'd probably still be playing today.
Absolutely.
But then Josh Gordon, you know, he smokes weed, and it's like, bro, lifetime ban, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Like, Deshaun Watson, 24 counts of
sexual allegation.
Assault. Yeah. And he gets 11 games, not 12, not a season, because he's got to be playing Houston when they come back. Just happens to be the Houston game.
Happens.
Yeah.
It's just nasty,
it's
bro.
bad. I think you've got to see, I mean, all of the things in Washington with the, with the cheerleaders and the situations that we've had with Snyder.
There's a lot going on with Washington. We'll find out a lot more soon.
Well, and that needs to happen and we need to see somebody at the top get something other than a hand slap.
Yeah. Because
if they just get a hand slap, it's going to continuously happen over and over and over again. And I think hopefully now that we're seeing women in higher kind of positions in, all sports, but also in the NFL,
right,
that this isn't just going to be a hand slap.
Yeah, I mean, I hope not. As far as like the Commanders thing's concerned, I mean, at some point the NFL has to be like, okay, like we support women, dude. Like they vilify guys that smoke weed. They vilify guys that kneeled for the anthem, that wore Black Lives Matter shirts, but they don't vilify guys that beat women.
Yeah,
that assault women.
Yeah.
It's a shame, dude. It's an absolute shame. And I didn't know if we should talk about it, but I did want to like bring it to light in case anyone's living under a rock and doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Is there anything from the preseason, the last week, this week, that you kind of took away, or is everything kind of, good riding into regular season?
A couple of, records that I'm a little bit surprised of. I know you got to take this with a grain of salt because it's preseason here. But I think you can look at the Tampa Bay Bucks going 0-3. That's a little bit of an eye opener. What's going to happen there? We know Tom Brady only played a single drive, right?
Yeah, one series.
Yeah. That's
they got a field goal.
Yeah. That's a question mark there. Vikings 0-3, Chargers 0-3.
None of those teams played starters though.
Yeah, Jacksonville 0-4. They're gonna suck so bad this year.
I actually think they're going to be better, dude, than people
Hmm.
anticipate.
I mean, Houston 3-0.
Yeah, but
Surprising.
that's the thing is like bad teams always go undefeated in the
Yeah.
preseason and they stink.
Yeah.
That's a thing, dude. It's like I still remember when Art Shell was the head coach of the Raiders in like 2006 or 2007, one of those years. And he goes 4-0 in the preseason, and then they won like one game the whole year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some coaches take preseason a little bit more serious. Like a lot of these teams, like the Rams, the Chargers, the Cardinals. I mean, dude, I can go on and on. Vikings, they didn't play any starters. The Bengals, like they didn't play any starters. No defensive starters, no offensive starters. Like they didn't play none of those guys in any of the preseason games. So it's like it's hard to judge that. Now that's what I was talking about with the Dolphins last week, Ben. It was because the Dolphins did play starters and they were going up against second and third string defense and they couldn't move the ball. And on defense, they couldn't stop the ball. And they were going against guys that aren't going to be playing.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
Well, and I think you can go in the same thing, and even, same division here. You can go look at the Patriots.
Yeah, but I didn't play starters either, really.
Patriots, Mac Jones got a lot of reps this preseason, and I was not impressed.
No, I was not impressed in what Mac Jones did.
Yeah.
There is concerns coming out of New England heading into this season,
especially
for sure.
with the whole still having the whole question mark of who's going to be the offensive coordinator.
They don't even know who's calling plays.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a big kind of question mark for me there. I think with Pittsburgh today, with Watt getting hurt, how long is that going to be? Is that going to be a nagging injury that we've seen him have, or is this just going to be something that's going to be, a quick thing that he's out for a week, ready for regular season, and we're good to go.
Yeah. Big thing about Pittsburgh is their offense. So their defense is always good, dude. Like even when they get injuries and shit, like they always seem to have a good defense. And they always go 8-8 at least.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now this I mean, I don't like to take a ton away from preseason, but there is a lot that I have learned about some of these teams in preseason. So I'm looking forward to the NFL season kicking off. We're going to have a lot more football content going forward as we head into the season, but we got a lot of baseball to talk about. Should we take a break real quick, Ben? How much beer do you have left?
I got a little bit left.
All right, let's start baseball.
Okay.
And then we'll take a break and we'll do half of baseball. So we'll do half and half. All right, so first thing I wanted to talk about, Ben, something dear to your heart, and that's your San Francisco Giants.
Yeah.
And I only wanted to bring this up because you are a Giants fan.
I know.
Gabe Kapler, they're 2-8 in their last 10. They're the second worst team behind the Yankees since the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
And Gabe Kapler comes out today in his press conference, and he says after the game, after they lost, they got swept by the Twins, and he says, it's not over. There's still time left. He's been saying this for like a month and a half.
Yeah. Now 7.5 games out of the wild card.
6.5 out, or is it 7.5?
7.5. Yeah.
Oh, whoo! They're toast, Ben.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Giants? And furthermore, Ben, not only what do you think about the Giants this year and their playoff chances, but what do you think about the Giants moving forward with Gabe Kapler as their head coach or manager?
Yeah.
And kind of like everything surrounding them and like just where they're at. Because, I mean, this is a team that, I said all last year they overperformed. They played over their heads.
Absolutely. But I don't think you can really take last year out of your mind, at least quite yet. It was definitely, I don't want to necessarily say a fluke year, but it was a year that they played very well. It was a year that they played better than expected. And I don't think you can necessarily take that away from Kapler quite yet. I think this year is where we thought the Giants were going to perform, being a 500 team. They're sub 500 right now, but we thought this was going to be a 500 team. So I think they're right where they're supposed to be. They just have a lot of, you got to look at Zadi, and you've got to look at the contracts that he's been putting up and what he's been working with right now. And, I think he's a little bit handcuffed with a lot of these old guys, and that kind of puts him.
That was kind of his decision too. I mean, he
absolutely.
gave Crawford an extension.
He gave Belts an extension. He gave Posey extension, but he retired, which was Well, I don't think that was beneficial for the Giants, but beneficial in the sense that they don't have that money sitting there on the cap. But
right.
I think he's got some players who played out of their minds to earn that contract last year and are not playing up to the numbers or have been hurt way too often this year. So I think it's a little bit of mix between, overpaying for these vets and, the injury bug that has really hindered the Giants this year because they haven't been able to get that contusion and that kind of formulation of a consistent team in and day out. And I don't think you can do that with so many young guys not having the confidence that they're going to be there tomorrow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue, Ben, is that last year their starting rotation was fucking lights out. They had like D. Scalfini, Gausman, Alex Wood was pitching over his head.
Yep.
Like all these dudes basically had career years the same year. You know what I mean? Like that's a rarity, dude. That's like when you throw 3 darts and they all hit the little 20 in the middle. Like, what are the odds of that happening? You know what I mean?
Well, I think that a lot of the benefit of that was having the confidence of batters too. And
yeah, but I mean, even the hitters all had career years. Like Donovan Solano had a career year. Darren Ruff, I mean, he was a 34-year-old rookie, had a career year.
Yeah,
I mean,
but when you don't have that, you're not going to get.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't count on that though. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is like that's such a rarity. You can't count on it. And so, like, I said it last year, dude. That the Giants, the worst thing that could have happened to them last year was that they were good. Because it probably set them back another 2 or 3 years.
Absolutely.
And it's similar to what happened to them in 2017. Remember when they made that postseason run and had the wild card and it was like the last hurrah with like the Hunter Pence team and stuff? No. Like, but the owners were like, oh, well, we can continue this. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they tried to continue it. There's just sometimes where you got to be honest with yourselves, dude. And you have to say like, hey, a lot of things went our way last year. Probably is not going to happen again. We probably got to tinker some things. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they didn't do that. Yeah, they signed Rodon. Rodon's been great. Yeah. Webb hasn't been as good. D. Scalfini wasn't good, and then he gets hurt. Yeah. Alex Wood hasn't been good.
Cobb hasn't been good.
Cobb hasn't been very good. Jakob has been okay. He's been up and down. Mm-hmm. And then the bullpen has just been atrocious.
Yeah, absolutely atrocious. Yeah.
You know, guys that were lights out last year are not nearly as good as they were last year.
Yeah, and I think this hope of getting that last wild card spot, which I think you have
There's
to go.
There's no chance, dude.
Yeah, well, I know, but even at the trade deadline, they have that hope of, you know what, we can get this last wild card spot, so let's not trade away, you know, all of the big contracts that we had, that the money, you know, the players that we could get either prospects or potential picks from.
The only two guys that they were going to get anything for was
Rodon, Belt, Crawford.
No, they weren't going to get. Crawford was hurt. They weren't getting nothing for Crawford. They weren't getting nothing for Belt. They would get something for Jock Peterson.
Yeah,
because teams want guys not on big contracts, especially when they're as old as Crawford and Belt.
Well, but I think with Crawford and Belt, that's not necessarily a place that you'd get, you know, Crawford or Belt going to a contender. I think you'd get someone who's going to be looking for, you know, hitting that cap floor next year, and who are going to need a little bit higher of a contract to move things up.
That's the kind of trade you make. That's the kind of trade you make in the off season, though.
Yeah,
not in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I think if you can get any value, though, especially for Belt, who is going to be a free agent.
Man, I thought Belt was going to get traded like 4 times since 2017, and they don't ever trade him, bro.
Yeah.
The Giants owners they're so addicted to money, and it's similar to the same thing as like the Sharks owners. where it's like they'll hang on to those glory years for as long as they can, and they'll milk it until it's like absolutely unmilkable. You know what I mean? And that's where the Giants are right now, unfortunately. And like, I think it's gonna be a nasty year next year, dude.
2 more years. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gonna get really nasty. And honestly, this might be a hot take, Ben, but I think Kapler is a fucking lame duck coach, lame duck manager, and I think Buster Posey is gonna end up being the manager of that baseball team.
I wouldn't be surprised on that. I think Buster needs another year or two, though. Big reason for why Buster stopped playing was because of his family and because of the two girls that.
But once they get into school and stuff,
yeah, but they're still a ways away from that. I mean, he adopted them as preemies over COVID.
That's true.
So I mean, they're only 2-3 years old right now, and
I'd love to see Buster as a
still
manager,
get time.
bro.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I think you got maybe 2-3 more years before Buster comes into his coaching, push. But he will be coach.
Because Kapler's not it, bro. He keeps saying the same fucking thing, dude. Oh, well, we have plenty of time, dude. You're 6.5 back with like 36 to play, dude.
7.5 back, yep.
7.5 back with 36 games to play. How many games have been? 38.
They're at 126, so
36.
30, yeah,
36
left, yeah,
dude. So you basically have to go like 30-6 to have a chance at winning, dude.
Yeah,
there's no.
I mean, San Diego's gonna drop. I don't think they're gonna drop 7.5 games to San Francisco. So
no, dude, there's no fucking way.
Yeah. No, I think you give Kapler one more year.
Unless Josh Hader starts the game.
True. Yep. Man, his numbers have been trash. Absolute trash. But I think you keep Kapler for one more year. You know that they're not going to be a great team.
So I'm saying he's a lame duck coach, dude.
Yeah.
Lame duck manager.
3 years to manage a team. That's pretty good.
It's cool, but like they definitely overperformed last year for sure.
Yeah.
And I think you're on the right trajectory. Like, all right, let him manage next year, maybe
possibly the year after.
Yeah. And then you bring in like hopefully by then you have your young guys start to come up.
Yeah.
Get a real manager in there.
Yeah.
Have a good team. The thing is though, is that the Dodgers, I mean, they're just never ending, bro.
Yeah. Even in 2 years, they're still gonna be 3 years, they're still gonna be
they're gonna be incredible, bro. Like they still are. The only hope is that the Padres somehow, I mean, dude.
I mean, the Padres are Padreing, so
they really are.
Yeah.
But
so
I mean,
they can keep going on that.
Well, we're gonna get into the wild card soon. But how much beer do you have left?
Empty.
All right, let's hit on one more thing before we take a break about this, and that is Josh Hader, Ben.
Yeah.
Like again, today, he goes in there and gives up another. He has like a 21 ERA now as a Padre.
No.
Yeah.
My numbers haven't. I guess my numbers haven't updated yet.
Because he didn't even go an inning today and give up 5 earned runs.
Holy hell.
He has a 21 ERA as a Padre. At this point, like, what do you think is going to happen to him? Because this is an interesting thing, Ben, is like, obviously they're not going to cut him this year. It doesn't benefit them at all to cut him this year. But do you keep, he goes into arbitration next year, right? He made $11 million this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's a number that you're willing to give him that you'll keep him at, hoping that he'll come back next year? Or do you like give him arbitration, but at what point let's say he settles for like 3.5 million, 4 million arbitration?
I think you take him at 3.54 million.
But then what if he sucks next year? You just cut him?
Yeah.
And sever your losses?
Yeah. Yeah, you bury him in minor leagues.
No, you wouldn't be able to because he has no options left. You'd have to fucking cut it. You'd have to DFA him.
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing, dude.
Send him back to Milwaukee where he's played well. 4 All-Star appearances.
Milwaukee knew what they were doing though. They trading him, bro. They were like, this dude's cooked. He's mentally fucked, dude.
Yeah. he just needs to start over, and I think that could be the offseason where that happens, because what we've seen, I guess before tonight, because my numbers here on Baseball Reference haven't been updated, but
No, they don't
for
update till 1 a.m.
Yeah, 6 games, a 12.46 ERA, only through 4 1/3 inning here. Not good.
No,
Not good at all. And especially if you're adding, he did 1 inning or third of an
he
inning.
didn't even get through a whole inning and added 5 earned runs.
So 2/3 of an inning there. So we're going to be looking at 5 innings, allowing 11 earned runs. Not good. Obviously not good. But I mean, and you look at how these hits are happening. He's walking a lot of batters. His strikeouts are okay.
Bro, Ben, the thing is like they moved into like a low leverage situation. Dude, they were losing 11-6 when they brought him in today, and he gave up 5 runs.
Jesus.
Like, that's when you bring a position player in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 4 1/3. He's
just cooked, bro. He's cooked. He's like mentally fucked. Like, something happened to him mentally in June, and it's just absolutely changed who he is. I mean, this is a guy who went the first month and a half of the season not allowing a single run.
I mean, the thing that gets me here is he's faced 27 batters. He's got 7 strikeouts.
Yeah, but he can't throw strikes. He's almost
at 25. Yeah, he's almost at 25%. Of batters he's faced is strikeouts. But then you look at that, like, of the 27 batters faced, he's got, 6 earned runs. And again, this is before tonight, so his numbers are going to be completely different there. But I mean, just the switch from where he was a month ago with Milwaukee. I mean, you're looking at home runs.
But even his last 3 out of 5 starts or appearances with Milwaukee, he gave up 3 or more runs.
Yeah. Hits per 9 has gone from 6.9 to 14.5. Home runs per 9, 1.9 to 2.1. I mean, not a big difference there, but for home runs, that's significant.
Yeah.
Walks per 9 has gone from 3.2 to 10.4.
Whew. Bro,
that's incredible.
He's cooked, Ben. He's cooked.
I mean, there's no chance for him to come back this year. 0 chance.
Nah, I mean, if I'm the Padres this year, I put him on the IL.
Yeah.
And send him to Arizona where their spring training facility is, and kind of just let him work through, do bullpen sessions and stuff. Yeah. And then go through arbitration and hope you can sign him for like $3 million, because he's definitely not going to make $11 million after the second half he's had, even before he goes to San Diego. And then you just kind of like hope he gets it right, dude. And if he doesn't next year, I mean, you got to cut. You probably, especially with because Tatis is only out for 40 games next year, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously San Diego's expectations going into next year is going to be to contend for a World Series.
Yeah.
And if Josh Hader isn't your closer and you keep him, you got to cut ties with him, dude.
Well, it's crazy to see his numbers from when he was first with Milwaukee, then when he got
something wrong mentally happened to him, Ben.
Wait, what is TOT?
Total.
No, team.
Yeah, total. That's
no,
his like.
No. 2022.
Yeah, total. That's Milwaukee and San Diego. It's combined.
Oh, hello. Okay. There we go. Yep. Why did they put that first? Sorry.
He's just cooked,
it's
dude.
Odd. I haven't seen that on Baseball Reference before, but I mean, everything up until this year has just been lights out, and then something has had to happen in his life that's just
it's just there's some things that are just mental, dude. Like something happens on the field and it just boom triggers you, like Rick and Keel.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, dude, like there's gonna be a 30 for 30 on Hader, dude, one day. Unless even if he turns it around, because it's gonna be like the dude that
miracle story,
was lights out, that became fucking dog shit and turned it around.
Yeah, it's bad.
All right, let's take a quick break real quick, Ben. We'll hop back in here. We'll do the rest of our MLB segment, and then we'll do some best bets, and we'll get out of here. So stay locked with us. We'll be right back. Oops. Yo, 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 yo. We're back. Thank you for hanging in there with us. Had to have a little bathroom break there after drinking that 7.5 IPA.
There we go. I had to go get my other beer, so we both had things to do.
Sheesh. So we just touched on Hater. Sorry.
Let's talk about these beers first. You have your second beer ready? You want me to go on mine?
Nah, go on yours first.
Okay, you're going into your beer. So I'm drinking a beer. Actually, I think you might have had this one. So this is an Almanac Beer Company. Almanac is coming out of Alameda, California, which is East Bay. Coming in as one of the kind of bigger breweries of the San Francisco Bay Area here. This is going to be a barrel-aged beer. This is Cherry Sour Nova. So 5.1%. It's coming in. It's a sour ale. It's aged in oak barrels. It's got cherries. It's got vanilla in it. So I'm excited about this. Taking a first smell of it, it definitely gets that tartness. Definitely gets that tartness of kind of that old school sour. So it's going to be interesting to see if the smell and the nose really kind of follows that the taste of it. So
okay,
excited about this.
Let me see. What's the can look like? I think I have had that one actually.
I think you have. Yep.
I think I did.
I don't know if it's been on a show or if
I think I did it on one of our shows.
Okay.
I may have. That can looks very fucking familiar though.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for it.
But Almanac never disappoints, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. All right, before we get into our
it's hard. Ooh-wee.
We're definitely going to get into our top 5 MLB power rankings in a minute.
What beer you got?
Oh, sorry, dude. I didn't even think about that. So last week I drank a beer from this same brewery company. This is Dewey Beer Brewing Company. This is the American Experience 7% IPA. Last week I did a pale ale from them. This is an IPA.
There we go.
A little bit different from the same like class though, because the cans look very similar. So looking forward to it. It doesn't say anything about the beer. Just like,
where's the Dewey from again?
They were from like Delaware.
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 All right.
Because all good brewing companies are from Delaware, dude.
I don't know about
Come
that,
on, bro.
but there are some good brewing companies out in Delaware.
Yeah, well, I've never heard of any except for this one.
We've had a beer or two from Delaware before.
Maybe, I don't remember. But we're gonna get to our MLB power rankings soon.
Yep.
We're gonna get there. We got some more in Major League Baseball to talk about real quick though. First, Blue Jays get swept by the Angels, Ben.
Yeah.
And now the wild card race tightens up in the AL. The White Sox get swept by the Diamondbacks, which kind of push them out of the wild card race for the time being. I mean, this is a team that was like minus 175 to make the playoffs 2 weeks ago. Now it's plus 250.
Yeah.
So I kind of just want to talk about the playoff races and everything in between. We had a lot change throughout the weekend. The Mets lose today. The Braves have a perfect opportunity to gain ground. They lose tonight on Sunday Night Baseball. So what's our thought? Let's talk about the AL first. Like what's your thoughts on the AL? And the Guardians, dude, they lose 2 of 3 from the Mariners. They should have won on Friday.
Yeah.
Lose on Friday, win Saturday, lose Sunday. Robbie Ray on the mound. What's going on with these playoff races, Ben? Like who's gonna take this AL wild card, man? Who are gonna be the teams?
It is tight in the AL. To be honest, I think the only question mark for me is going to be Toronto and Baltimore. Which of those two are going to be the ones, to be in? And, looking at the, what Vegas has the numbers at, I mean, you're looking at Toronto, they're saying yes is minus 1,600, no plus 1,000. So, I mean, really what that's telling me is to, throw a quarter unit on no. At plus 1,000 there, and if something were to happen, Toronto, where Toronto falls out of that last spot, you've got the opportunity there, and same thing. If you look at Baltimore, yes, plus 350. I mean, not as good value there at plus 1,000, but
plus 350. You could have got Baltimore, yes, plus 700 3 days ago.
Yeah. So I mean, with Baltimore winning the series. This weekend with Toronto getting swept, it's a huge question mark there. I mean, Tampa Bay Rays, 1.5 games up. I mean, where are the Rays sitting on Tampa Bay? Yes, minus 330, no, plus 265.
Yeah, they're basically a lock, dude.
Yeah. Looking at the schedule, I'd say
they're getting Wander back.
Yeah. I'd say that the Rays are probably going to be in there. I mean, it's the Blue Jays. How are they going to finish the series? They've been such a question mark throughout this whole year. Are they going to finish these last, 35, 40 games strong? And their schedule isn't too beneficial towards them.
Well, the AL East in general, dude, they all play each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, Boston, they're only 7.5 back. And I know that kind of seems like a lot, but it's like, at the same time, like, dude, they look dead in the water, after playing Toronto, and now they bounce back. They win the series against Tampa Bay. They still got a ton of games against Tampa, Toronto, and Baltimore.
No, Boston's done.
Probably, but I mean, they're not out of the realm of possibility since the fact they play the 2 teams ahead of them a lot. 2 of the teams, you know what I mean? I would say like that I'm absolutely sure that Seattle is going to make the playoffs, but I'm not, because, dude, they should have lost that game on Friday. Like, you replay that same game 100 times, they lose that game 99 times.
Agreed, but they're not losing those games.
They didn't lose that game. But on Saturday night, Ben, you got to remember, Seattle had only lost 1 game all year coming into Saturday night where they held a lead after 6 innings. Only lost 1 game, dude. They lost that game. On Friday night, they literally won because of an error. That was the difference in the game. Cleveland absolutely should have won. Cleveland was the better team in that game. If you watch it, I watched that game because I had Cleveland. And I watched that game and I was like, dude, this is crazy that Cleveland is not winning this game. Like, that's baseball, though. You know what I mean? That's baseball. But when it comes down to, like, that over 30 more games, like, they're going to lose that game more often than not. And they've been losing a lot of games lately. And then they have to play a team like Oakland, a team that just beat the Yankees 2 out of 4.
Yeah, but that's a
No,
that
that's just who the A's are. They play better with, dude. They have a bunch of guys that are trying to make roster right now.
yeah.
That are trying to make future rosters. So they're trying to win. You know what I mean? So it's not a lock, dude. The Mariners' offense sucks, dude. Their bats stink.
Majority of their bats stink. Yes, I agree on that.
Luis Castillo, they've lost the last 3 games he's pitched.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the crazy thing is that you've got 3 teams from the same division going.
That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of
Going
that
at
has to
that.
do with those divisional teams. And, like,
Yeah.
that's why I like Baltimore to make the playoffs, because they're good against their division except for the Yankees. But majority of their losses against the Yankees were in the beginning of the season before
Yeah.
Adley got called up. Since Adley
Yeah.
Rutschman got called up, they're the best team in baseball.
Oh,
They have the best record. They have the best record. Their ERA is more than 1 point down since Adley became.
Yeah, but looking at Baltimore, the teams they play outside of their division, Houston,
They just
Detroit,
won 2 of 3.
Washington, and Oakland and Cleveland. Like, those are pretty difficult. Other than Detroit and Oakland, those are pretty difficult. Toronto, outside of the division, you've got Texas, you've got Pittsburgh, you've got Chicago.
But Toronto loses to those teams. Baltimore
Philly.
beats good teams, dude.
I'm really worried. That's part of the reason why I'm worried about Toronto there. But then again, Tampa Bay, who do they have outside of the division? 2 against Miami. They've got 3 against Texas. They've got 6 against Houston.
That's tough.
That's tough. And then 3 against Cleveland. So, like, none of these really are beneficial. I think Baltimore probably has the best with 3 against Oakland, 3 against Detroit.
Well, I mean, this is the thing with Baltimore, Ben, is that their starting rotation is pitching very well, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally just shut down Houston. They should have won the game today. They had first and third in the first inning, no outs against Justin Verlander. Didn't manage to score a run. I mean, they struggled with the bats today. They should have won that game. They should have swept Houston.
Back, man. I think Tampa misses it.
Nah, there's no way. Dude, Tampa has the best bullpen. Baltimore has the 3 best relievers.
Out of the teams that they play outside of their division, you've got 2 against Miami for Tampa Bay, 2 against Miami,
Yep.
3 against Texas.
As long as you don't
6
face
against
Sandy
Houston.
Alcantara, you're good.
Yeah, you've got 6 against Houston and 3 against Cleveland. Toronto again. They've got Chicago, Pittsburgh.
Toronto's the team to me that
Texas.
might miss the playoffs, Ben, because their starting rotation sucks. Like, they're not pitching well.
Yeah, but they're winning all of their games outside of division, which is going to put them of their remaining games out of their division. That's
do
going
we
to put
know
a big
that
plus to them.
They just lost. They just got swept by the Angels at
Yeah.
home, dude. They just got swept by the Angels at home, Ben. They lost a Manoa start. I mean, dude, this is a team that is not playing good baseball, dude. And I've been saying it all year. They are a fluky team. I don't like this team, Ben.
I don't either, but out of the 3,
And it's the
getting
team I
this-
picked to win the AL to begin the year.
Yeah, I was right there with you. I thought it was going to happen too. But I mean, then Baltimore's got tough outside of their division. They're about 50% tough versus regular.
Yeah, but
Toronto, I'd say, is
Baltimore has the magic
20,
though.
25.
Bro,
Yeah.
they got Austin
I
Vaught,
think
Dean Kramer, Kyle Bradish, Ben, who I've been talking about since May. You have been witness to this. I've been saying that kid has fucking stuff. He has learned how to pitch. He finally figured it out.
Tampa's got a tough schedule.
Tampa, dude, they have the pitching though. Shane McClanahan,
Kluber,
Drew Rasmussen. Kluber's all
Rasmussen.
right. But their bullpen, like, they have 2 elite starters in Rasmussen and McClanahan. They're getting Glass now back. He's supposed to be back pretty soon. Shane Baz should probably be back shortly as well. And then you have their bullpen, Jason Adam, Peter Fairbanks. Like, you're talking two of the best high leverage relievers in all of baseball. As long as they don't throw fucking oh my god, what the fuck's his name? Why is it blanking my mind? The fucking lefty, dude. His last name starts with a C, dude. Why is it blanking my mind? As long as they don't throw him, they're fine. Tampa, honestly, they could pitch, and they're figuring out they're getting healthy with their bats. They got Hernandez back. They're getting Wander Franco back. They got last name starts with an M. Oh my god, dude, why is it blanking my last name? Why is it blanking my head? Not Marmol. The kid that he was suspended for like the first 60 games of the year or 80 games. They got him back. He's playing. They got all their guys back, except now they get Franco back. They get Wander back. I mean, this is a team that was third in all of baseball last year in runs scored per game.
Yeah.
So they're going to get the offense back on track. They've been a lot better. I mean, they've been one of the best teams in baseball in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I fully expect Tampa. It's really between Baltimore, Seattle, and Toronto, in my opinion. That's where that wild card is going to come into play. One of those teams is going to miss out on the playoffs, and what team will it be?
Yeah.
It very well could be Seattle. They probably have the easiest path, so we could basically write them in. And then it's between Baltimore and Toronto.
Yeah.
And Baltimore's probably a year ahead of schedule.
Oh, absolutely.
So they're playing with house money.
Yeah.
Which is scary, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Mariners' remaining schedule. It's a fucking cakewalk, man. 3 against Atlanta, 2 against San Diego. Okay, their next 5 games. Or sorry, I was too far ahead. So they've got 5 games in my mind, maybe 8 if you add Cleveland in there, that are really difficult there. But you've got 3 against Kansas City. You've got 7 against Detroit.
Kansas City's playing tough ball, though.
6 against Oakland. You've got
These are playing tough ball
against the Angels.
And Ben, the Mariners always Mariner,
Chicago.
dude. The Mariners always Mariner.
3 against Texas here. They've got the easiest schedule remaining here. So I'm writing in the Mariners. I'm going to put Baltimore and I'm going to put Toronto in.
You're going no Tampa.
I think Tampa Bay is out. Yep.
It's bold, Ben. I like Tampa. If I'm writing any of these teams off, it's going to be Toronto, just because they're fucking so much worse than they should be, and it's pathetic, dude. It's honestly pathetic that they're in this race.
Well, then you got to put no on Toronto right now, plus 1,000.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's great value there.
Yeah.
I think they're a similar team to Chicago, the White Sox, in my opinion, where it's like both teams we thought were going to be a lot better than they are. Obviously, Toronto's a little bit better than Chicago, but I mean, like, we keep saying, like, oh, at some point they're going to figure it out. Like, they're too talented, blah, blah, blah. But there's got to be a point where we're just like, okay, this is who they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think with both of, like, with the White Sox, I've definitely they got swept by the Diamondbacks this weekend, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and what Vegas is telling us is that Baltimore's out. Baltimore doesn't make it.
Yeah, but they've been saying that all year.
Yeah.
Because, you know, their over-under win projection was like 62.5 wins.
And Tampa Bay. I mean, you look at that, because you've got Toronto right now. Vegas is telling us, yes, minus 1,600.
But at the Seattle, you also have to keep it
minus 1,000.
You also have to take into consideration that, like, you know, they already have a large amount of what's the word I'm looking? A large amount of interest bet on Toronto. A lot of people like Toronto coming into the year. You know, we were 2 of them. Yeah. You know, I put a wager on Toronto to win the AL, and there's probably a lot more people that did that as well. So they already have a lot of like wagers on them, a lot of big handles. So they have to make that. They have to even it out. You know what I mean?
then your no wouldn't it be at plus 1,000 if you're trying to even
No,
it
it
out?
would, because if it was lower, everyone would bet Toronto yes to make the playoffs because they already have a wager. They're chasing their wager for them to win the division.
Yeah.
So if they were to make the playoffs at plus 150, everybody would bet it. You know what I mean? If they were to put no to make the playoffs at, plus 150, would people take it?
Yeah. No, they wouldn't. If they're putting it at plus 1,000 and it looks like Toronto has a very good possibility of not making the playoffs, then yeah, people are going to take it.
But
because you're
most
10 timesing your money there.
but most casual MLB bettors and fans have Toronto. They think they're one of the better teams because of what they have on paper, similar to the White Sox.
Yeah.
Right? The White Sox, up until like 2 days ago, still had better odds to make the playoffs than the Orioles, even though they lost 2 of 3 to them and were 4.5 games behind them.
The White Sox still have better odds to make the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, that's insane. That's absolute fucking insanity, dude.
Yep. White Sox are sitting at yes plus 225. Baltimore, yes plus 350.
The reason being for that is because the average fan is going to look at that. They're going to say, oh, the White Sox, they have Eloy Jimenez, Jose Abreu. They have names they know. Oh, they're definitely going to make the playoffs.
Only 4 games back?
Who?
White Sox.
No,
That's
they're
the
like
average better is
7.5
back.
back.
Where did my
White Sox are 6 games back of the final wild card right now. They just got swept, bro. And they lost 2 of 3 to the Orioles.
Dude, what the fuck has been going on with Yahoo? Yahoo. ESPN standings have not been updating for me. This says the White Sox are 61 and 56.
Oh no, they're 63 and 65, man.
Yeah. I don't know what is going on, and I just refreshed this page. Here we go.
The rest of us are living out here in fucking 2022. You're out here living in fucking some other time period.
June or July lives matter, man. All right. Was that racist? I hope that wasn't racist.
You're an idiot. All right, let's talk about some NL. I mean, obviously the drama's in the AL for sure. The NL, we literally have like one spot up for grabs. It's the last wild card spot. It's between San Diego and Milwaukee at this point. The Giants are.
I think you could even put the Phillies.
The Phillies are only 2.5 back up.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that could be a part of the race. I think the Phillies could be a part of that race. That really there's 2 spots open for 3 teams.
Yeah, but the Phillies are minus 800 to make the playoffs now.
Yeah.
So they're definitely going to make it. It would take a miracle for them not to make it.
Yeah.
Because Milwaukee's basically 3.5 back of them. Milwaukee's not playing very good baseball. Let's be honest. You know, they do play the Pirates tomorrow. They have a series against the Pirates. So
look at those numbers, how they changed though. What, 2-3 weeks ago it was Milwaukee, yes, plus plus 300?
No,
now
Milwaukee wasn't plus 300. They were like minus 300
to make the playoffs.
Yes.
Was it San Diego to not make the playoffs was plus 300?
San Diego to not make the playoffs was like plus 350 plus 450.
I think it was plus 300 when
we started talking about it.
Yeah. And now they're at plus 225.
Yep. Yes, minus 285 though.
Yeah, and that's gonna change tomorrow.
Why?
Because they lose today.
They did.
Yeah.
But this is
another
updated.
Half game back.
This is updated. This is updated as of 4:59 p.m. today.
Saturday. I'm looking at odds provided from DraftKings.
Oh yeah,
for the odds not to make the
you're
playoffs.
You're right.
August 27th at 11:45 a.m.
So it's gonna change a little bit.
Yeah.
Noah's probably barely going to move, to be honest. Probably might move down to like plus 225.
They dropped a game today because the Brewers won.
Might move to like
I think that changes.
175, plus 175. Max. We'll check in the morning. We'll repost it. Let's talk about our
Phillies lost to the Pirates today too. That hurts.
Yeah, that was a tough one. But I mean, like, dude, they won like 6 in a row coming into that game. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna lose eventually. All right, let's talk about our let's do our power rankings, Ben. What's your top 5 teams look like this week? Because I know we both have some movement here.
I do have some movement from last week. So we're gonna start off this week, and this is really kind of a crapshoot for who's going to be number 4 and 5 here. But I'm going to go with number 5. I'm going to go Atlanta at 79 and 49. Number 4, I'm going to go St. Louis at 73 and 54. Both teams are hot, going 77 and 3 over the last 10. Braves went 4 and 2 this last week. Cards went 5 and 3. I think St. Louis is going to rank higher because of their remaining schedule. I'd say they have one tough week remaining in the season against the Dodgers and the Pirates, but I mean the rest is a literal breeze for them. Atlanta, I think, in the stronger division hurts them here, so I'm gonna put them at number 5 going forward. Number 3, we're gonna put the New York Mets 82 and 47. Still waiting for the Mets to drop. I'm glad I'm not holding my breath here, but it's gonna happen at some point. Their remainder of the season is also a breeze. So if it's not an epic collapse after the Dodgers sweep them this upcoming series, then it's going to be a sweep in the first round of the playoffs. I don't see this Mets team as being something to really write home about. Number 2, I'm going to go with Houston, 82 and 47. Tough week, really week and a half for them. They have series losses to the Braves and Orioles, who are just 2 teams that are hot right now. They did sweep through Minnesota in between that, but I mean, their next 2 weeks look really good. They got the Rangers, the Angels, the Rangers, the Angels, and the Tigers, and then the A's. So I see them, going through at least their next 10 being a lot better than that 6 and 4 ranking than they had, in their previous 10 here. And then last is going to be the Dodgers, 7-3 of their last 10, 4 and 2 over this last week. You have to go back to July for them to have a losing series. Before that, you're going through into early June, and I just don't see anyone beating them in 7 without maybe some trash can banging out of Houston. And again, you've got the next 2 weeks, 3 games against the Mets, 6 against the Padres. That's really their last final test before the postseason. You do have another 3-game series with San Diego, but at that point, is San Diego going to be a relevant team? Or are they going to be too far behind? I don't know. They're majorly sliding here. It's going to be a big question when you've got 10 games left and you're playing San Diego again. So Dodgers number 1 again, as much as it pains me. And also, who's missing from that list? The New York Yankees.
Yes, they are.
Bye-bye.
We both have updated top 5s. Yours are a little dramatic, but we both have the Yankees falling off. I absolutely
dramatic.
Agree.
Look at your number 2. That's a little dramatic.
No, that number 2 is perfect, and we'll get to that very shortly. I'm with you though. The Yankees have to fall off, dude. They're not a top 5 team right now at all. No. They just lost 2 to the A's with the 2 worst pitchers I've seen in baseball, aside from Patrick Corbin pitching. So that team got a lot to figure out right now. But number 5, I'm going with the Cardinals, 74 and 54 on the year. Great team. Just took 2 of 3 from Atlanta. They probably should have lost last night, though. Kenley Jansen blew the fucking game. I mean, just a crazy blown game, too. Hit 1 batter, infield single on another. Just bizarre shit. Give me Cardinals number 5. Great team, though. Obviously, I got them number 5. I think they're a good team. And a lot has changed because they traded for Jordan Montgomery, traded for Quintana. I think they're starting to figure out their starting rotation, but I don't think that overall they're as complete of a team as the next 4. I'll put the Astros number 4. They're really slumping. They lose 2 or 3 from the Orioles. They did take the series from the Twins, but this is a team that's really struggling to hit the ball right now. They have to figure it out at some point. Yordan Alvarez has not been as good in the second half of the season. 113 WRC plus compared to like 163 in the first half. Jeremy Pena, 161 WRC plus in the second half of the year. That's way below league average. I mean, this lineup is just, they're not performing, especially the bottom half of the lineup. So they got to figure this shit out. Sorry. Number 3, we're going with the Mets, 82 and 47. They lost two to the Yankees. They did take 3 or 4 from the Rockies, but let's be serious, dude. The Rockies on the road should have fucking swept them 4 games, but you didn't. And you should have almost lost the DeGrom start. You almost lost the Scherzer start against them. So this Mets team, I've been saying, like, this team isn't as good as their record says, and I do think that there's regression coming, and it's been coming. Number 2, we're going to Atlanta Braves, 79 to 50. Did lose 2 of 3 to the Cardinals this weekend, but honestly, they should have won on Saturday night. That was a start that, kind of just unraveled in the bullpen by Kenley Jensen. Shocker. Number 1, I'm going Dodgers, best team in baseball, hands down. Don't even have to explain it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Let's go, y'all.
All right, let's get some best bets for Monday, Ben.
Yep.
What do you got?
All right, so I've got one bet for us coming in tomorrow for Monday, and that is going to be, I know I've just took them out of the top 5, but we are going to go with the New York Yankees at a 1.5 over the Los Angeles Angels. I understand that the Angels just came in and swept the series, but that's not with Jose Suarez on the hill. You've got Frankie Montas coming in, who doesn't have the best of record for the Yankees, but his ERA is decent going against Jose Suarez, who, again, 4-6 is better than Frankie Montas' 4-10, but ERA is coming in at 4.19. I even like this as a first 5 minus half a run to the Yankees. You look at the way Suarez was pitching, and yes, he did have some good games in early August against the Oakland A's, but I'm not too impressed with the Oakland A's offense. When you do get him up against a team with a more of a high-powered offense like the Yankees will have coming in tomorrow, it is not pretty. His last start, he went 5 1/3, only allowed 3 earned runs, but then you look at what happened with the bullpen there, and they lost 11-1. So nothing pretty there for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Still think it's a dumb name. So just for that, we're going to go New York Yankees minus a 1.5, especially with the odds here sitting at minus 110.
All right, I got one best bet for tomorrow. It's going to be over 9 Diamondbacks and the Philadelphia Phillies. We get a lefty-on-lefty matchup with Ranger Suarez versus Bumgarner. Bumgarner has a 6.38 ERA in the second half of the season, and Philly is 7th in WRC plus versus lefties on the road since the All-Star break. I like Philly money line, but there's not a ton of value. So for value purposes, I'm going to take the over 9 because surprisingly, the Diamondbacks are 5th in WRC plus since the All-Star break at plus 143 against lefties at home. Arizona's bullpen is also the 6th worst in baseball. And while the Phillies bullpen has improved, it's still not great. They got a 3.96 ERA. And the ball tends to fly out in Chase Field, man. So give me the over 9 runs here.
There we go.
I like it. Let's get this money, Ben.
Hell yeah. All right, 2 good bets for tomorrow, but it's time to move back to our beer. Give us a ranking out of 5 for your 2 on the night.
The Fat Orange Cat was really fucking good, dude, to be honest. Like, that is a beer I would drink again. I would purchase again. That one's a 4.5. The Miami, what is it called? The Miami Beach. Like that one. 4.5 out of 5. The second one, the Dewey beer, it's all right. It's hoppy. It tastes good, but it's not like easily drinkable.
No.
So I'm gonna give that one like a 4 out of 5. Like, I would drink it again. I'd probably buy it again, but it's definitely not something like that Fat Orange Cat was really fucking good, dude. Like, I kept going back for sips. Like, I liked that one. This one, I would find myself more like, let me pause. Yeah. But it's so good. So good.
Oh yeah. So for my 2 beers, I had the first one that I had was the Jackrabbit. This was the Terror of Tahoe, Hank the Tank, West Coast IPA coming in at 7.2%. I really like this one. Knowing Tahoe too, this really did remind me of being up in Tahoe with the earthy earthy tones to this beer. So I'm going to give this one a 4.5 out of 5. I thought it was a great West Coast IPA. You didn't really taste that 7.1%, but you felt it. So this is not going to be one that you're going to be drinking a lot of, but this is a good sipper beer that really kind of shows Tahoe, shows a good West Coast IPA. Great mouthfeel, great smell to it, great taste to it. Really good West Coast IPA.
Let's go,
4.5%. The Almanac, the Cherry Sour Nova. This was the 5.1% beer. They're coming out of Alameda, California, which is East Bay, just below Oakland here. I'm going to give this one a 3.75 out of 5. It was not bad, but the sourness and the tartness really kind of overpowered this beer. Jordan, I think you would probably give it a higher ranking here than I'm going to give it. But with
my sours,
yeah, you like the tartness, you like that, that lighter fruit to it. I prefer a little bit more of the stronger fruit to, with a little bit of tinge of the sour there. And this was just kind of opposite for me. Not bad. It was a beer I would drink again. I'd like to have this one on tap. But is this going to be the first beer that I go to when I go to Armagnac? No, probably not. So still a good beer. I would definitely drink it again. I don't think I'd go out of my way. So
it's a good way of putting the scoring, Ben, is like, if I were to go to this brewery, is it going to be like one that I go to right away?
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it, dude. Actually.
Yeah. It's good, but I still will have it, but probably not the first time I go to Almanac.
Yeah.
Or the next time I go to Almanac. So good stuff. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Taproom Sports Podcast. Make sure to go to Tavour.com, sign up, use promo code Taproom, and you'll get $10 off your first purchase of $25 or more. Make sure to check out our big podcast tomorrow, where Jordan and Irvin are going to be joined to talk college football, NFL futures. It's going to be, you've got a huge guest from Bison coming on. And we're really excited for that. We're just getting into football season, which is going to be a ton of fun. And we're going to see a big switch from what we're doing here on Taproom, moving over from baseball to football. So really exciting for that. Stoked for this new football season.
We're still going to be talking baseball until the end of the season.
Absolutely. That's a must. But it won't necessarily be the only focus for us, and looking forward to that. Make sure to check out Jordan and Irvin. Still have Steady Eddie on the mind, but Jordan and Irvin gonna be coming in on Monday and Wednesday nights. I'm here with Jordan on Sunday and Tuesdays. It's always a blast. Make sure to check out www.taproomsportspodcast.com.
Yes,
you can find all of our socials, all of the information on our podcasts. It's a great time. Thank you again. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a beautiful Monday. We love y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in with us.
Cheers.